Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carrie and I am the Bookish Soaper. So I am so excited for today's video. I got some major inspiration to make soap and I cannot wait. I wanted to bring you guys along with me while I did it. But first I want to show you, I have been making soap over the last couple of days. I haven't really filmed any of these, mainly because I'm still trying to figure out how to work this all out, how to be in the bookish community and how to be in the soap making community, and if I need to just like have two separate accounts or if I need to just put it all together. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to know, are you guys interested in watching me make this soap? I know that there's going to be some soap people that are going to end up subscribing to my channel that probably aren't going to be interested in me talking about books and vice versa. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. Let me go ahead and show you a couple of the soaps that I have made. So this isn't quite ready to unmold yet. This is Pink Bombshell. It is a bombshell dupe by Victoria's Secret. It is very, very light and sweet. I really enjoy this scent. I just sold out of it, so I had to make some more. I did upgrade this. I've got my little pink gumballs on top. I've got 3 different pinks in here, a red and a white. I think it's going to turn out really pretty. And the other one I wanted to show you is my guy scent. This is my one of my best-selling guy scents. It's very surprising, but my men, well, I say men, like that to me is kind of sexist in a way, because I'm a girl and I love my guy scents, or more masculine scents. That's all marketing, but I personally think that guys can absolutely use any girly scent they want. Girls can use any kind of more masculine scent they want. It doesn't matter. Just use what you like. I have tons of guys that buy my girly scents, and they buy it for themselves and they tell me about it and they are not ashamed of it, and I love it. But anyway, so this is Cool Water. This is also a dupe. It smells so good, y'all. And how pretty is that? Like, I'm so excited to unmold this one. That's one of my most popular scents. I've made it 3 or 4 times. Every single time that I make it, it sells out. It's been sold out for a while, and I just really, really needed to make that, so I'm glad I did. Now, on to what I'm making today. So I got inspired by Cardigan by Taylor Swift. I'm a low-key Taylor Swift fan. I'm not like a huge Swiftie, but I've always loved her music, and it's just something that I've been really inspired by, especially this Folklore album. I personally think it's one of her best albums she's ever done. And so I know other soap makers have also been inspired by Cardigan. I'm definitely not the first to do this. In fact, I know Royalty Soaps, she kind of inspired me to make a cardigan soap. She went the more natural route where she did white and then like a navy blue that kind of signified the blue on Taylor's cardigan. I'm going a different route. I got inspiration from Pinterest. I was looking at different color palettes and I came across this. Now, how pretty, I don't know if I know that it's got a little bit of a glare, and I'm sorry about that, but how pretty are these colors together? And that totally screamed cardigan to me. So I have got my color palette ready. I'm gonna do, my base color is gonna be white, and then I'm going to do a little, it's gonna mainly be natural soap color, which is kind of a tan color. I'm gonna add just a little bit of silken gold just to kind of give it just a touch of color. And then I'm going to do, I've mixed up my colors already. So this in here is going to be it's 3 different colors. It's clementine, so like a really bright orange mixed with a kind of a copper color and a brown, darker brown. And then I've got, in here I've got 2 different greens, or actually no, I've got 3 different greens. I've got a really bright green, a hunter green, and then like a jungle green. And I'm gonna do one of them just as is for the darker color, and then I'm going to do one with titanium dioxide to make it more of a pastel. And I've got my cardigan type of fragrance. This is something that I kind of blended myself, and I'm really excited. It just kind of reminds me of like wrapping myself up in a blanket. It's just kind of warm, and it's a little sweet and maybe just a touch fruity, but not really. It's a beautiful scent, and I cannot wait to get started. I've got a new tripod So this is definitely a different view. I cannot wait to try this out. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is a completely different setup, and I really hope you're able to see it better. I'm not gonna lie, it may be off-centered some until I learn a little bit about how to do it. I have been working on this for quite some time, trying to figure out the best way that you guys are able to see it. And this is a brand new tripod, and I can't really see the screen from the position that it's in. So I'm really hoping that you guys can see this okay. I figured this is what I'm doing right now in case you haven't watched a soap video of mine before. I have super hot lye water, that's sodium hydroxide mixed with distilled water in here that I just poured in. It also had a couple of tablespoons of sugar. Every single batch of soap that I make has sugar in it, and it also had Tessa Silk. And all I did was just mix that together, and then I'm pouring this into my hard oils. Now this recipe is not my regular recipe. I just created this one. I'm gonna give it a try. This to me is a complete and total experiment. It is going to be a special edition soap. I'm only going to make this once. I may make it next year. I don't know, but this is a first. It is a new fragrance oil for me. It is a new soap recipe for me. So my normal recipe includes sweet almond oil, and it also has castor oil, cocoa butter, coconut oil, olive oil, palm oil, and shea butter. That is my regular recipe. And so this recipe is just a tiny bit different. I am doing avocado oil because I know that some people may be allergic to sweet almond, but not avocado. So I figured I would do some avocado oil for those who may be allergic, and so they can try my bar of soap if they would like to. So I've got avocado oil, castor oil, cocoa butter, coconut oil, olive oil, sustainably sourced palm oil, and kokum butter, which is a completely different type of butter. And it was, to be honest with you, it's a butter that I've had for a little while, and I haven't used it, and I needed to use it. So I'm just going to do this as a special edition bar of soap. This kokum butter is what this large chunk is, and it's very hard. So I'm just going to stir until it gets all melted, and then I will bring you back whenever I am ready to go ahead and get everything mixed up. Alright, so I have got that pretty well stirred up, and I'm getting ready to go ahead and mix up all of my oils. So in here I've got my soft oils, and then I also have all of my additives. My additives are always going to be the same. I have goat's milk powder, colloidal oatmeal, and kaolin clay. And that all stirred up, I'm going to add that into my hard oils and go ahead and get everything all nice and blended up. Alright, I'm going to mute this while I go ahead and get this all stirred in. Alright, so this is all nice and blended in together. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and separate this into colors. And let's go ahead and make Cardigan soap. So this is going to be my base. This is going to be a little bit of a tan, just for a little bit of a swirl. And then I'm going to add in we'll start there, and then I can always add more. Here, right there. Okay. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more in here. All right. So in this, I've got my white titanium dioxide. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. I'm also going to do the same in this one. This is going to be for my pastel green. About that much in there. I think I might add just a tiny touch more in there. Okay. This is my fragrance oil. I'm going to add this into each batch. I think I'm going to add about that much in there, and then I'm going to test it and see how it reacts. Do just a touch more white. Okay, I'm going to say that is good. I'm going to add in just a little bit of gold in here, not much, just enough to make it kind of a tan color. I'm going to say about that much is all. Okay. Now I'm going to move to and then I will hand blend those all better. And like I said, I apologize if I am having any kind of issues with being off-centered at all. This is my first time doing it. I can't really see the screen, so I hope this isn't too bad. I will be learning as I go. Yeah. All right. Now, the rest of this I'm going to stir by hand. So I'm going to add in my fragrance oil to all of my colors. All right. And I'm going to go color-wise from lightest to darkest. So I'm going to start with my white. So far it looks like this fragrance oil is reacting beautifully. It is not thickening or having any kind of issue with me. So that makes me super happy. Means I'll be able to work with it. Okay, here's my gold. Now, some of these greens may look a little weird, and even the orange may look a little bit off, but the colors will always change a little bit in the final product tomorrow. So what you see now may not be the exact colors that it ends up being in the final bar. Especially greens, they do that a lot. They turn into a really ugly color, and then they go back to being like a really pretty color once it's all done. They always morph. It is what it is whenever it reacts to the lye. But the final product ends up being a lot prettier than usually than what is shown. even though, I mean, this to me is really pretty green right now. So I'm not like mad at it. I hope it darkens up just a tiny, just to kind of match what is shown, but you will see. Like I said, first time using this fragrance oil. It does have a little bit of vanillin in it, which can discolor the soap some. So I'm really hoping that that does not happen. It's not much, so I'm hoping that it won't discolor. It's less than 1%. This has a little bit of ricing in it. I don't know if you can see it. It's got some little chunk looking pieces in it, so I'm gonna have to stick blend this one a tiny bit. I just want to make sure all the color gets in here really good first though. And then I will stick blend that one a little. Okay, let me do the other one. So that's the only one that did that so far. I think I want to add a little more orange. This is kind of turning out a little brown for my taste. I want to see if I can brighten that up just a tiny bit. This one also has some ricing in it, so I will have to stick blend this one as well. Let me add just a little bit. Let me look at my, I don't know, what do you guys think? I wish you could tell me. I think that's pretty close to the inspiration, don't you? I know that's probably backwards for you, but I think that's actually pretty close to the inspiration, so I think I'm going to leave it like that. But I do need to stick blend 2 of these because they are ricing a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me see, that one's okay. Actually, that's not too bad. Let me see if I can get by without it. Let me see if I can just mix this. It's not ricing that bad. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as is. I want it fluid to where I can actually do the swirls I want to do with it. Okay, so let's see if you should be able to see that okay. So I'm going to start with a white base. So I'm just going to do a little bit, about that much of white. And then I want to start with green. I'll do a darker green first. And it is starting to thicken on me, so I need to hurry. I'm gonna go in with a lighter tan. Move in to a orange. And then go to a lighter green. Kind of got a little wild with that one. It's okay. Move back into my white. I'm not going to put a huge amount of that, but I do want to have a little bit more. I hope I'm not getting my stuff right in front of the camera where you can't see while I'm pouring. I'm trying not to do that. Let's go ahead and move back into a darker green. I just think these colors are so pretty, and I hope you guys can see the inspiration where I was going with this whenever it comes to Cardigan. It's not like Cardigan as in like what Taylor Swift made for Cardigan. It's just kind of a loosely inspired by her idea. I just think that it's such a kind of like a wintry type of dill. And yes, it won't be ready for 4 weeks, so it won't be ready for December, but it will be ready for January and February. And I think that's like the perfect time to have a Cardigan inspired soap. I swear, I get crazy with this green, don't I? Okay, let's move into a darker one. I do want to save a little for the top, but I'm going to use quite a bit this time. Okay, I think I'll save about that much for the top. Let's go ahead and move on to this one. Save a little bit right there. Save a little bit of that color, and then finish off with a little bit of light green, and save just a tiny bit for the top as well. Okay, so I'm going to tap this. I'm so sorry if you hear me sniffling in the background. Lye it's super strong, and it can make your nose run, so I'm doing the best I can not to have sniffles, and I apologize if there is a couple in there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, this is a swirl tool, I'm just gonna go in and make some swirls. If you've never watched a soap making video before and this is your first, you never know what you're going to get. No two batches will ever be the same, and you just kind of have to wait till the following day to be able to cut into it and see what you got. And yes, it is super anxiety ridden. You cannot look until like at least 24 to 48 hours after, and it gets really frustrating because you desperately want to see what you made and you can't do it. Especially whenever you're making like your first couple of batches of soap, that wait is a killer. And I'm going to put the rest on the top and kind of make a top decoration. All right, and with the magic of editing, we are back with everything put on the top. What I'm going to do now is just really quickly take a paper towel. I'm going to wipe down these dirty edges because they just drive me a little crazy, and I like to have it at least somewhat clean. So what I'm going to do is I want it to be kind of a thicker swirl, kind of just swirled around. So I'm just going to take this top, I'm not sticking it in very far, and I am just going to make big old swirls, and then I can go back, and if there's a certain spot that may need a little more color or so, I'm just gonna go back in and do so. I think that looks really pretty. I'm just going to go in now and go around the edges here. Get those kind of cleaned up. All right, good enough. Last step is just going to be adding a little bit of iridescent sparkle glitter. I'm not going to add just a huge amount, but I do want just a tiny touch of glitter. This is cosmetic grade, so it will not stick to your skin. It will come off in the bathtub. It just adds a little finishing touch of something special. And then I just add a little bit of 91% alcohol. over the top of it. That's just to kind of keep everything all together and prevent it from ashing, which turns it kind of a white color. It doesn't bother the soap at all, but it does make it look less pretty. So hopefully this will prevent that. I am going to go ahead and just leave this alone for 24 to 48 hours, and I will bring you back to cut this pretty. And I am back the next day to cut my Cardigan inspired soap. However, it is discoloring and it looks more like an army soap and less like a warm fuzzy sweater. So I'm a little sad because it definitely discolored. This is kind of what I was originally going for, and I thought I had the colors pretty close. But the white and the tan definitely discolored to like a weird greenish color. I don't know. Yeah, you can definitely see. So if you look real closely around the edges, how it's looking darker, that is what it's going to turn into. So that pretty white that I had is actually now going to be discoloring to a weird grainy color that makes it look like the army. So I'm a little sad by this. I think I'll still call it Cardigan, but it's gonna be like an army-inspired cardigan now. I still think it's going to turn out okay. It still smells lovely. It still smells like what I would imagine a cardigan would smell like. It's kind of a warm, cozy scent. Not too floral, not too like fruity. It's just kind of like a very warm, cozy, wrapped up in a blanket kind of scent. I still think it turned out pretty. It is going to continue to discolor some, not much. It'll stay about the same. By the time I show pictures and everything, you'll kind of get a full idea of what it actually turned out to look like. I just think it turned out pretty still. It's not too military manly looking. Just not exactly what I was going for, which kind of makes me really sad. But that's what happens whenever you have a fragrance oil that has a very small amount of vanillin. Vanillin is vanilla, and vanilla always discolors your soap. That's why, like, you can't ever have like a birthday cake soap or something and have it white. It's always going to be dark brown. If you look on Etsy or if you look at other soap makers, whenever they're making that kind of soap, they always just kind of incorporate it into their design. So they might have like a white part that isn't scented, so they can represent whatever they're wanting to represent. But for the majority of the soap, it's going to be a darker soap always because it has vanillin or vanilla in it. And this had a very, very small amount. It was less than 1%. And sometimes it will discolor, sometimes it won't. I was hoping it wouldn't, but it did anyway. And I'm going to get just a tiny little edge off of there. So I've got a couple little samplers. And here is the final bar. Let me know what you think about my cardigan soap in the comments below. I will talk to you guys soon.